Known for its plethora of ancient ruins, whitewashed villages, sunny beaches, tasty cuisine and friendly atmosphere, it is no wonder that Greece ranks among Europe's top travel destinations. Greece is made up of a mountainous mainland and hundreds of islands where each one offers its own share of stunning landscapes, historic sites and cultural delights. Here's a look at the best places to visit in Greece, with some historical information. Number 5. Delphi. Occupation of the site at Delphi can be traced back to the Neolithic period with extensive occupation and use beginning in the Mycenaean period, 1600 to 1100 BC. In Mycenaean times Crete was a major Greek land and sea power, perhaps one of the first in Greece, if the early Helladic date of Kira is to be believed. The ancient sources indicate that the previous name of the Gulf of Corinth was the Crisian Gulf. Like Crete, Corinth was a Dorian state, and Gulf of Corinth was a Dorian lake, so to speak, especially since the migration of Dorians into the Peloponnese starting about 1000 BC. Crete's power was broken finally by the recovered Aeolic and Attic Ionic-speaking states of southern Greece over the issue of access to Delphi. Control of it was assumed by the Amphictyonic League, an organization of states with an interest in Delphi, in the early classical period. Crete was destroyed for its arrogance. The Gulf was given Corinth's name. Corinth by then was similar to the Ionic states, ornate and innovative, not resembling the Spartan style of the Doric. Number 4. Mykonos. Herodotus mentions Carians as the original inhabitants of the island. 10. Ionians from Athens seem to have followed next in the early 11th century BC. There were many people living on the neighboring island of Delos, only 2 kilometers, 1.2 miles, away, which meant that Mykonos became an important place for supplies and transit. It was, however, during ancient times a rather poor island with limited agricultural resources. Its inhabitants were polytheists and worshipped many gods. Number 3. Peloponnese. The peninsula has been inhabited since prehistoric times. Its modern name derives from ancient Greek mythology, specifically the legend of the hero Pelops, who was said to have conquered the entire region. The name Peloponnesos means island of Pelops. The Mycenaean civilization, mainland Greece's, and Europe's first major civilization, dominated the Peloponnese in the Bronze Age from the palaces of Mycenae, Pylos and Tiryns, among others. Mycenaean civilization collapsed suddenly at the end of the 2nd millennium BC. Archaeological research has found that many of its cities and palaces show signs of destruction. The subsequent period, known as the Greek Dark Ages, is marked by an absence of written records. Number 2. Meteora. Ancient history. Caves in the vicinity of Meteora were inhabited continuously between 50,000 and 5,000 years ago. The oldest known example of a built structure, a stone wall that blocked 2/3 of the entrance to the Theapetra cave, was constructed 23,000 years ago, probably as a barrier against cold winds. The Earth was experiencing an ice age at the time, and many Paleolithic and Neolithic artifacts of human occupation have been found within the caves. Athens has been continuously inhabited for at least 5,000 years. Athens, 3000 BCE. By 1400 BCE, the settlement had become an important center of the Mycenaean civilization, and the Acropolis was the site of a major Mycenaean fortress, whose remains can be recognized from sections of the characteristic Cyclopean walls. Unlike other Mycenaean centers, such as Mycenaean Pylos, it is not known whether Athens suffered destruction in about 1200 BCE. An event often attributed to a Dorian invasion, and the Athenians always maintained that they were pure Ionians with no Dorian element. However, Athens, like many other Bronze Age settlements, went into economic decline for around 150 years afterwards. Iron Age burials, in the Kerameikos and other locations, are often richly provided for and demonstrate that from 900 BCE onwards Athens was one of the leading centers of trade and prosperity in the region. The leading position of Athens may well have resulted from its central location in the Greek world, its secure stronghold on the Acropolis and its access to the sea, which gave it a natural advantage over inland rivals such as Thebes and Sparta. By the 6th century BCE, widespread social unrest led to the reforms of Solon. These would pave the way for the eventual introduction of democracy by Cleisthenes in 508 BCE. Athens had by this time become a significant naval power with a large fleet, and helped the rebellion of the Ionian cities against Persian rule. In the ensuing Greco-Persian Wars, Athens, together with Sparta, led the coalition of Greek states that would eventually repel the Persians, defeating them decisively at Marathon in 490 BCE, and crucially at Salamis in 480 BCE. However, this did not prevent Athens from being captured and sacked twice by the Persians within 1 year. After a heroic but ultimately failed resistance at Thermopylae by Spartans and other Greeks led by King Leonidas, after both Boeotia and Attica fell to the Persians,